So, Mr. President and Mrs. Vice President, I would like to thank you for hosting this event here at the Ateneo Veneto. And I would like to welcome our friends from Corfu, Rhodes, Paphos, Santorini, Kalossorismo, and Dubrovnik, Dobrodošli. The first question that we have to answer is, why are we here? Because we live in historic cities that have an important past and today are going through a survival crisis. We would like to share with you some of our observations, some reflections about Venice. What has been in the past and what is the situation today, and our hopes for the future. Venice is a result of a constant search for balance between man and the environment, social makeup, recognition of our common identity that derives from an awareness of our own past and the interaction of the two previous elements. There has always been a close connection between the city and the ecosystem out of which it came. Venice is its lagoon. That's why, before talking about Venice, and so as to understand the city properly, it is important to think about where it is located. Because Venice is not a city on the sea, but a city inside a lagoon, the largest in Italy, which has always protected it, which was its cradle and defense, a place of landing and departure, from which to set sail. It is located between the mainland and the sea. Its unique environment was decisive. It was the making of the city. This was its strength, and probably today, for several reasons, is its weakness, too fragile. This is why Venice has never been a city like any other, and it is a miracle that it has survived. We must recognize its uniqueness and specificity. To demonstrate the close relationship between Venice and its lagoon, we might quote this epigraph from 1505, yes, encouraging to consider an enemy of the motherland anyone who caused damage to the water system. Venice was born in special circumstances and has always demonstrated special attention to the balance between man and the environment, as I told. Inhabited by people fleeing from the barbarian invasion of the mainland, it has always paid a lot of attention also to the harmony between the social components of its community. From the separate islands, a society grew up, composed of many microcosms in which different social classes coexisted, side by side, collaborating, merging together to form a large community, linked by a sense of religious and cultural rather than ethnic belonging. A community formed by people from different and sometimes distant countries, united by a common identity. Even the Venetian Palazzo, is an example of this social coexistence of different social classes. The building has a warehouse for commercial activities on the ground floor, then the nobles on the piano nobile, and lesser folk in the mezzanines. The population in Venice reached a very high level. Since the Middle Age, it was one of the most populous cities in Europe. The sense of belonging to the community was expressed both in daily life and in public ceremonies, in which every social component had its own role and space. The population suffered drastic reductions due to wars and plagues, and yet it was rapidly repopulated. It was important, however, that those who came respected local laws and usages. The stranger who arrived in the city will find his welcoming community. In Venice, many people came from distant countries. It was a supreme crossroads. The foreigner and the foresto was the lifeblood of the city. Here are some historical sites of the ghetto, San Giorgio dei Greci, the island of San Lazzaro degli Armeni for the Armenians, San Giorgio degli Schiavoni and the Fontego dei Turchi. Venice has always been a city in the true sense of the word, with all the functions typical of a great capital, at the center of a dense network of international relations, cultural, economic and commercial exchanges between Africa, Europe, Asia, a role that continued until the fall of the Republic. It traded, produced, and was able to invent and create treasures that penetrated every corner of the world. Those that today are part of the collective imagination of what Venice means today and has always meant. The continuous pursuit of a proper balance with the environment and the social harmony, the ability to welcome innovations and adapt them to its own world, made Venice a political, mercantile and cultural center that enjoyed a freedom of thought unheard of elsewhere. Venetian book production reached 25% of European total between 15th and 16th century, thanks also to the Aldo Manuzio genius, including not a few of the Inquisition's list of forbidden books, and many geographers and cartographers. The city was a center of music, painting, sculpture, architecture, all the arts. Venice enjoyed the freedom of the press and on thinking, beside rights unimaginables elsewhere. And this allowed it great openness toward innovation, great ability to adapt to change. In fact, the first woman to obtain a degree in the world was Venetian, Elena Lucrezia Cornell Scotia. In 1797, the fall of the Republic. More than 1,000 years of the Republic come to an end. This is the image of the last Venetian flag, to be lowered in Perasto, in the south of Dalmatia, and the other show the 4 horses that were brought to Paris. Social and urban change to modernize the city, we can see, such as the construction of the railway bridge that for the first time connects Venice with to the mainland. Venice loses its island's identity. And then the birth of the single joint municipality with Mestre and the Marghera Industrial Center, and this year marks the centenary. The post-war period, development of Porto Marghera Chemical Center. And then, in the 1966, flooding. This was the beginning of a mass exodus. After the Great Flood, the first thought was to protect the urbs rather than the civitas. It was thought essential to preserve the stones, the palazzos, the bridges, the fondamente, rather than the community. It was the beginning of a vision of a place that had to be preserved. From that moment, Venice was seen from the outside as fragile and threatened. The community of Venice and the lagoon gradually lost its centrality in the management and development of its territory. Today, Venice becomes a non-community made up of mere users, a sort of equivalent inhabitants which certain statistics try to camouflage the dramatic loss of residents of the last decades. The loss of functions after the loss of residents. It is not only individuals who move out, but also the headquarters of several of the city's main institutions, with the consequent reduced access to the services they are supposed to provide. We are still witnessing, almost on a daily basis, the sale of government buildings and their conversion to still more hotels. Here are the image of Palazzo Balbi, the headquarters of Regione Veneto, then the Camera di Commercio, the Chamber of Commerce, and then Palazzo Papadopoli, already sold, or the Municipality of Venice, as many others. At the present, the tourist impact, this increasing and controlled rise in tourist presences leads to imposition of a lower level, extremely damaging mass tourism, conversion to tourist use of public and private real estate, with consequent loss of housing and exclusion of citizens, pollution and degradation, conversion of businesses to a tourist monoculture, uncontrolled inflow of dubious foreign capital. And here you can see the image of a overcrowded Ponte della Palma. All this leads to the exploitation of the Venice as a living and aware community, reduced to a mere brand. We are undergoing an invasion. We no longer have the means to defend ourselves, and we compromise both the land environment and that of the water, with the water traffic at the limits of sustainability. Huge ships, speedy launches, motorboats of all sizes. We need to preserve our habitat as it has always been over the centuries, and not alter the balance irreversibly. Here you can see among the others a group of hotels rapidly springing up near Mestre Station, and the consequence, of course, of pollution on the cultural heritage. We don't have to forget it. Let's have a look on how Venetians live today. We are no longer in control of the destiny of our city or our daily life. Nothing belongs to us. Everything has been taken away. Even the mayor does not belong to the city. He does not live in the municipality of Venice, or even in the province of Venice, but out of Treviso. Whereas the Doge was required to reside in the Ducal Palazzo, Palazzo Ducale, to share the fate of the city, to know and understand it, and to love it. And how do Venetians react? How do Venetians react? We try to resist and to be proactive. Yes, yes we do. And about the development of a truckstop. A city, its port, as you can see, it's an airport. The important infrastructures are still undergoing a massive development, precisely to bring an ever-increasing number of visitors. And then Venice, its lagoon, and UNESCO. What can we say? The naming of Venice and its lagoon as the UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987 was based on the recognition of the 6 registration criteria. But still, it's a page larger to be written. And about the identity and the environmental question, and about the so-called 7th sestiere, to repopulate the city. It takes homes, work opportunities, and an active citizenship, conscious of its history, culture, and environment. The so-called 7th sestiere, Venetian abroad, or in other Italian cities, they often have high-level skills and can be a strong basis for the repopulation of the city and for planning a future at the height of the city. What about our future, our hopes, a spatial status, a recognition of Venetian uniqueness, maybe on the model of other European cities, such as Berlin or Hamburg. But despite the difficult times, there are still many strengths that could potentially underpin the launch of Venice. For example, historical, cultural, and environmental heritage of Venice and the lagoon. The name and the myth of Venice in the world. University and research. Schools. the cultural industry, the artisan heritage, a programmed tourism with limits on numbers, a reuse of public real estate assets with great potential. Now my speech is coming to an end, I'm sorry. But I would like to say as a conclusion that we are all losing a fortune, a treasure, in exchange for a degraded, very degraded currency. Thank you.